What is up, everybody? So yesterday I put up my usual weekly review of Convicting a Murderer. Yesterday was episode 8. And then I also put up a second video talking about something that was in that episode. They had a segment talking about how cadaver dogs or scent dogs hit on Stephen Avery's trailer. I didn't really think much of it at the time for the reason why it became fairly popular. I just thought it was weird that there was an officer, a deputy, that did paperwork on the cadaver dog, scent dog, whatever it was, that hit on Stephen Avery's trailer, and that they didn't end up using it in court. I thought that if it was such a big deal that Convicting a Murderer was making it out to be, then it should have been something that Ken Kratz probably should have used in court, even just to make his case in his mind more powerful to prove the things that he was already saying. However, as soon as I posted that video on YouTube, I started getting comments, and it was people saying that it wasn't Stephen Avery's trailer that the dog hit on. Now, when the first person put it, I was like, maybe people post stuff all the time, and it's not always the most accurate. Then a couple of people that have really good information about the case posted that it wasn't Stephen Avery's trailer, and I was like, maybe I'm wrong. And then the comments just started coming in. It wasn't Stephen Avery's trailer, it wasn't Stephen Avery's trailer. I'm like, well, God, I usually try to be pretty careful with the information that I post. So I was like, well, maybe I got this one wrong. I'm going to have to delete this video. But before I did that, I went back and watched the segment that I was talking about. And in the episode, they did indeed say, and it starts at 17 minutes and 10 seconds in of episode 8. They did indeed say that the dogs hit on Stephen Avery's back door. So I brought the question over to Twitter, and the folks that are on Twitter have a fountain of knowledge of making a murderer, convicting a murderer, the Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey case. They can answer any question within seconds. So it didn't take long for them to provide me with more information on what it was actually talking about. And I'm going to put it up on the screen here for you, and we're going to go over all of the information that I was provided yesterday about that particular segment of the show. And I will link everybody's Twitter in the description below. The first one is from Mystic Jinx. It's that Sarah is not the cadaver dog handler. She did scents. Teresa's sent via her shoes. These shoes are missing and no ledger for them. Sarah was signing in as a police officer, but when I asked for her reports, I was told she was not there as a cop. Then Mystic Jinx added this to their tweet. On Tuesday, November 8th, 2005 at 8:30 a.m., I received a call from Officer Sarah asking for my assistance with my bloodhounds in locating a missing woman in Manitowoc County, Wisconsin. I told Sarah I would be able to assist in any way I could. I arrived at the scene on Avery Road at 11:11 a.m. I was directed to the command post where I was met by Sarah and an assistant chief of police, Kevin Shepherdson. I was informed that the person we were looking for was Teresa Hallbach. Teresa was last seen at Avery Auto Salvage, located at 12930 Avery Road on Monday, October 31st. I was taken to the area where Teresa was last seen. I had my bloodhound Raz do a perimeter of the area. At 11:30 a.m., I put her into a harness and gave her Teresa's scent that I obtained from the insole of one of Teresa's shoes. Raz immediately took a track going into the backyard behind the Avery garage and to the fence line, running back and forth along the fence line for several minutes before working her way west towards the gravel pits. From here, she headed south along a berm with the junkyard on the east side and the gravel pit on the west side, and showed major interest in the east side of this area, jumping up on to me to indicate that the scent was very strong in that area. From there, she headed back west towards Stephen Avery's house on the back door on the south side of the trailer and asking to go in. I pulled her off and told her to continue on. From here, she headed down the road for about 2 city blocks before turning herself around and again going back to Stephen Avery's yard, going into the backyard and working the fence line back and forth for a few minutes. From here, she jumped the fence and went down into the junkyard, working her way among the cars. Raz worked this whole area for quite a while, taking me to trailers west of the property, out to a cul-de-sac, gave me a negative and took me back to the gravel pit area and proceeded to take me to an area where I was then told they had found Teresa's car. From here, Raz worked the upper ridges of the pit, always giving me a negative at the top, leading me to believe that the scent was more concentrated in the junkyard. I pulled Raz off the search at 1:15 p.m. Jinx continued, stating, here's my email exchanges about the police department's involvement. And this is what Jinx stated. Dear records custodian of that police department, I'd like to request all records generated by the police department during the Teresa Halbach investigation. Unknown case number for your office. This record would be connected to the Manitowoc County court case, and it lists the numbers there. Officer reports for the dates of October 31st to November 15 for Sarah. To name one, evidence, ledgers, property, receipts generated, photographs, dog handler reports, for, but not limited to, Great Lakes Search and Rescue K9. Any receipts of services paid for by Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office during this time. And here's the follow-up from November 8th, 2022. Thank you for your recent email requesting the information regarding the police department's involving with Teresa Halbach's case in 2005. After a thorough review of our records, I did not find any records in which the police department assisted in the Halbach case. Additionally, I did not find any records in which Sarah assisted in the case under her employment as an officer with the police department. Should you have any questions or need anything further, please do not hesitate to contact me. And then one more here. Is there any way to double check? I am 100% positive that Sarah and Loof were in fact part of the Halbach investigation at the Avery salvage yard. The week of November 3rd, 2005, she collected Teresa's shoes and cut them for the scent to search and placed them in her personal vehicle. I believe there should be a chain of custody ledger for this property as well. Sarah was mentioned several times in the Halbach case along with someone named Kevin Shepherdson. And then there's one more reply here. Okay, that is interesting. She seems to be there as an officer. Can you tell me the name of her personal business that she is working for? And that's the last exchange there. So there's some very good information there, but that's not all I got. It continued on with, I'm just trying to find it here. This is from Presumed Guilty on Twitter. CASO report, image 1, and I'll put them up on the screen here for you. The unspecific verbiage vaguely mentioning red trailer, although directions are a giveaway. See Cadaver Dog and Bloodhound report, images 2 and 3 specifically mention Avery property, red trailer, van for sale, garage, German Shepherd, and going west to Cuss Road. And this is the record from the Calumet County Sheriff's Department. On Monday, November 7th, 2005, Deputy Reimer, Unit 832 of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department, was requested to turn back to the scene. I assisted Sarah, a patrol officer from the police department, and her bloodhound Loof with tracking. This is the one I read yesterday, I think. Sarah and I walked the Redant Quarry and the field area on different tracks. We covered approximately 5 to 10 miles of tracking. One of the more significant tracks that Loof and Sarah tracked was from the south entry door of the Red House trailer near the concrete stoop. This track did continue in a westerly direction toward a cul-de-sac at the end of Cuss Road. It was indicated by Sarah that Loof was very intense on this track. I'm pretty sure that's the one I'd read yesterday. And here is the next thing from Presumed Guilty. Track 3, 1:30 p.m., 57 degrees, wind 0 to 5 from the northwest. Track from van for sale by Avery property. We walked down the driveway to the Avery property to the area where the van was sitting for sale. I pre-scented Canine Loof and did a perimeter scent inventory. Canine Loof was harnessed, given the scent article of the insole, and given the command of a find. Having arrived approximately 50 feet east of the van, Canine Loof immediately went to the front portion of the van for sale. Canine Loof continued west to a black 350F parked in the driveway in front of a garage. Canine Loof went to both doors of the truck. Canine Loof then went directly to the service door of the garage and worked her nose along the bottom of the actual overhead garage door, showing much interest. Canine Loof worked west around the side of the garage, but was unable to continue due to a large, aggressive appearing German Shepherd. Canine Loof wanted to continue around the garage. Canine Loof went up to the south door of the trailer home, the door having a small porch entrance, and the door was white in color. Canine Loof wanted to enter the home. Canine Loof continued north along the trailer and went between some pine trees and a burning barrel. Canine Loof smelled a charred area, showing some interest, then continued west. Canine Loof went west in a picked cornfield. Directly to the south was a gravel pit. In between the two was an area of brush and trees. Canine Loof worked this area with indications of very strong scent. Canine Loof worked west out to a cul-de-sac that was taped off with crime scene tape, and 2 deputies were not allowed to access. Canine Loof crossed the tape on one occasion and then was told to not go any further. The deputies phoned Sheriff Pagel to see if I could continue, but were told to not allow anyone access at this time. Canine Loof was unharnessed as we waited for further instructions. Canine Loof worked consistently as she does while working strong scent. So again, so much good information there. And then we have a couple of other tweets here from Kaboom Blam Zoom. It was originally thought that the red trailer the dog hit on was Redant's deer camp trailer, but once the dog reports were released, it was found to be Stephen Avery's, but it wasn't a hit. It was simply interest. The dog only got an alert in Avery's bathroom. Another one here from CECILYHELE 37455. Red trailer hit is Stephen's trailer. The only hit was on his blood in the laundry room. The last person said bathroom, could be the same thing. It's complex, and Cam is twisting things, convicting a murderer. Only cadaver dogs hit or alert, not scent dogs, but convicting a murderer left all cadaver dog hits out. So many in the quarry. See the interactive map on the Foul Play website. The next one, also from Presumed Guilty. No, some users think this, and they're talking about it being the trailer on Redant's property, think this because they only read the CASO reports, which is not exactly clear. Cadaver dog reports confirm the track in question begins by Barb's red van near the red trailer, and they cut across west to the cul-de-sac, not north to the cul-de-sac. So that's all of the information I was provided yesterday regarding that particular segment of the show. I sure hope that clears everything up. It definitely helped me understand further, and I want to thank everybody that sent that information in for no other reason other than to just help and paint a clearer picture of things. So thank you all so much for your help. This community is amazing with passing on information. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.